Growth in commercial cards has stalled, with only 2% of business spend captured and profits being increasingly squeezed by the change in interchange economics. Are you in the 80% whose card programs are failing? How are you planning to address this? At Ixaris, we believe that next-generation payments platforms are needed for commercial card issuers to better serve their customers and grow their own revenues. In this video series, we look at 3 capabilities of next-generation payments platforms that will help them to do just that. Controlling transaction pricing, supporting non-card accepting suppliers, and decoupling from credit lines. In this first video in our series, we explore how overcoming interchange economics can grow commercial card revenues.
First and foremost, I would say that commercial cards have made a significant impact from where they started from. They have been enabled by the ability to provide a working capital advantage to the buyer, and through some of the enhanced data capability they're also able to bring to bear to the transaction. Some of the pains that they come across are brought out by the existing interchange model and merchant service fee model that exists, which prohibits a more flexible approach and carries with it a significant amount of costs, which naturally gets passed further down the chain.
Well, interchange for commercial card has traditionally been higher than consumer card. So suppliers who accept commercial cards are typically paying far higher rates than they would for consumer cards, particularly since we've seen regulation on interchange in the European Union. And those rates can be 1.5% and above, which is driving a merchant service cost of upwards of 2.5%, which becomes a significant cost for the supplier. And those costs often get passed on to the buyer, which then drives a reticence on the buy side to use commercial cards. There have been some attempts to try and overcome this. So the schemes run large ticket interchange programs which look at reducing interchange rates where transactions reach a certain volume, but they have some additional requirements around them in terms of additional transaction data, which also places a burden on the supplier. And really we need a new way to address these types of transactions where we can really break out the shackles of interchange and try to do something innovative in the space.
It is independent of any card scheme. It works with Visa, with MasterCard, and also emerging schemes like China UnionPay. It goes beyond cards. It can also do bank-to-bank direct payments, which means it's not dependent on which suppliers accept cards. We can deliver the money in the way that works for suppliers. And finally, it gives greater control over the charges that can be applied to these transactions. This means the banks can actually incentivize behavior by picking the right fees, the right charges, the right economics that will work for both buyers and sellers.
So the Ixaris platform offers great benefits to all the participants in the B2B value chain. From a bank perspective, it gives a solution that lets banks go beyond traditional commercial card payments and really deeply penetrate B2B payables in a way that other solutions really don't allow. On the buyer side, it allows buyers to address a greater share of their payables through a single channel. It lets them price transactions more equitably for suppliers without the reliance on card scheme economics. From a supplier perspective, the supplier gets the opportunity to be paid via a mechanism that is cheaper than traditional commercial cards. It gives them rich remittance data through our portal that allows them to streamline and optimize their accounts receivable process, and ultimately treats them in a more equitable fashion than traditional commercial card economics.
Since 2003, Ixaris has focused only on payments innovation. That's what we do. At Ixaris, we pioneered virtual prepaid cards. Now, since then, we've evolved to cover other payment types, credit cards, but also bank-based payments. And more recently, in 2015, we were awarded funds by the European Union to make the process of payment innovation much easier, safer, and more accessible.
Get the full story by visiting www.ixaris.com today and requesting our commercial payments white paper. Join the discussions on Twitter and LinkedIn.